How many of you have ever had some kind of physical pain in your life? So in 2016, I had this kind of pain. What if I could set a goal to actually eradicate the pain from my body? And I'm starting with this story because it's probably one of the most difficult goals I ever set. Anybody that knows me well, you know that I'm a big time basketball fan and I love to play basketball. I'm playing a pickup game. And what I would do is I would pack ice packs in my bag. And after I got done playing, I would wrap my knees. And this particular day, I forgot my ice packs. And I'm driving home and tears are running down my face because that's how much pain I was in. I got to do something about this. And I follow what I'm going to share with you all today, a system and a structure as I'm doing it. I wake up every morning, align. What's the vision? What's the goal? Align, because I can feel it every day. Part 2, act. So how am I eating? How am I taking care of myself? How am I exercising? Right? Because part of how you get rid of knee pain is you got to use your knees. It seems kind of counterintuitive, right? Number 3, adjust. What's working, what's not working, right? The commitment is progress, not perfection. What's working, what's not working. It wasn't until 2019 I'm playing one day and I realized as I turned to go on defense, I don't feel anything. I don't have any pain. And this is what it used to look like. You see that I used to have that real tight. Then I was able to take it off. I don't even need it no more. I accomplished that goal. Now, why am I starting with that story? That whatever goal you have that you intend to go into 2026 with, however difficult it is, you can accomplish it. But what I've learned is that the only reason people don't achieve their goals is because they quit. Here's the overview of what we're going to do. Want to talk a little bit about your 2026 goals, what's killing your clarity, 4 reasons you keep failing, the law of vibration. We talked about this last year. I'm going to revisit it really fast for those who weren't here. The law of entropy. You want to stick around for that one. I'm going to share an exclusive offer with you. And then we're going to talk about the number 1 secret of goal setting. Then I'm going to share another offer with you. And then we'll go into Q&A and close. All right? Sound good? Okay. All right. All right, so one of the things we did when you all registered is we asked a question. That question was, what is one of the 2026 goals that you're looking to focus on? Or what goal you love to achieve in 2026? And here's what we found. 66% of you answered, 34% didn't. And this is what we found. Uh-oh, might want to cut that off, huh? All right. So 36% of you are now interested in growing a business, entrepreneurship, or career growth. Believe it or not, this actually matches the trend that we're seeing in corporate America as well. Many of the C-suite executives that we're talking to, working with, almost 50% of C-suite leaders are like, I want out. I don't know what corporate America is going to do, but most folks are like, hey, I'm trying to figure this thing out. All right. Now, if you're in business, what this means is it's about to get more competitive. All right. And if you're not, that means you're entering a very crowded space. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. Another 18%, money. I was surprised it wasn't higher. But money, debt, and financial freedom. And then the other part of the majority, I'm just going to cover the top 3, personal development, and just looking for ways to create more discipline and productivity. I would say all of you guys are in the right place. All right. What's holding you back from achieving your goals? This is almost a mirror of what we saw last year. And you see it again here. Clarity. 51% of you, 33 of you said, well, that's 51% of who took the survey, said a lack of clarity. So we're going to start here again. What is killing your clarity? I think I've talked about this in 2025 more than I've talked about anything else. Clarity. If you're a Slayer Goals member, you already know. Clarity. Pushing clarity. How do you get clear? Why is clarity so important? Clarity is important because I've been coaching for a while now. And one of the themes that I've seen is that when a client says they lack discipline, really what they're saying is, I lack clarity. Because whenever a client is clear, the discipline kicks in, period. If you're like, but I'm clear, but I don't feel the discipline, consider you're not clear at all. When you get clear, the discipline clicks in. It just does. But what I'm finding is most goal setters are bound by what I call the chains of randomness. You can set 4 very clear goals for 2026. You would think that's simple. But what happens is those goals get crowded out by random stuff. And you will spend 2026 spinning your wheels on things that don't even matter to you. Most of us spend hours and hours and hours engaged in things that don't really matter to us. And all I have to do is say, okay, go look at your screen time on your phone. Like, what is it saying? I can promise you that at the end of the week, when you see so many hours on social media, so many hours on Netflix, did it really matter? Did it accelerate your life in the direction that you want to go? Answer's probably no. But it's incredibly compelling. But because we're not clear, we fall into the trap. No clarity equals no discipline. Period. So, if clarity is that important, what's killing our clarity? We talked about this a bit last year. And what we found is your mindset. I'm gonna go through this really, really quickly. And I got plenty of content on YouTube if you're new and you're like, but I want you to spend time here. You can go check it out on YouTube, I promise you. If you just put in Linnell Harris mindset, you get everything you need. We'll go through this real fast, okay? Your mindset shapes your emotional capacity to envision your goals. Now, notice emotional capacity is underlined. The reason emotional capacity is important is because your emotions are your creative energy. Your emotions are your creative energy. One of the main things I found missing in the goal setting process is the lack of emotion. So if you set goals with me, we bring emotion into the goal statement itself, because every time you say it, you should feel something. If you don't feel it, you're not going to create it. So not only do I need to see it, I also need to feel it. So the clarity that I have in my mind and the emotions that I feel in my chest are part of what support me in creating, I would say, almost anything that you can put your mind to and you can set your heart to, you can create it. That's just how we're designed. So mindset shapes your emotional capacity. If my mindset's not right, I get overwhelmed quick. If I get overwhelmed quick, I lose my focus. Is this making sense to you all? Okay. All right. So how do I shift my mindset? This is the framework. Number one, mental inputs. You got to remember that although the brain doesn't have a stomach, it still has a diet. Although the brain doesn't have a stomach, it still has a diet. And whatever you feed your mind is what it will put out. Okay? Now, you guys heard I changed my diet almost 10 years ago, right? So I don't have many of these like late night crazy eating things where you wake up the next morning and you wonder, what did I just eat? Thank God for that. That's one of the cool things about clarity around food, okay? But I'm sure somebody recently ate something and it was just like, why did I do that, right? Well, it's no different than what you feed your mind. The only difference is you don't feel indigestion, you feel fog. You experience fog, okay? So mental inputs drive the awareness for your mental acuity. Another word for mental acuity is keen, sharp, mental sharpness, right? So my mental inputs, my mental diet creates my mental sharpness. Remember I talked about the framework for structure and systems that we're going to use in 2026? Align, act, adjust. Well, I can't align if I'm foggy, right? So my mental inputs are incredibly important. And then that sharpness supports me in my mental warfare. I tell the story often. When I changed my diet back in 2017, I used to be hungry all the time because I was figuring it out, right? And this is the process of figuring out, like, it's not perfect. And so one day I leave a meeting, I'm hungry, and I'm on autopilot. I pull into a Wendy's drive-through, right? I order some chicken nuggets. Now I had made a commitment not to eat chicken nuggets. I made a commitment not to eat chicken at all. But I pull in, I order, hey, give me five chicken nuggets. I'm just gonna have a few to get this hunger pain off of me, right? And I forgot about the commitment completely, right? Completely forgot about the commitment. I'm just hungry, I need to eat 5 chicken nuggets. It was a habit, that's what I'm doing. Pull up, order the food, they 99 cents, give them the $1, pull off, it's $1.07, right? Pull off, put the nugget in my mouth and realize I ain't ate something like this in a while. I had to spit it out and I got these nuggets, the garbage is right there. Drop it in, right? It hit me. You're not playing this game. Now, how do I spit the nuggets out? Because I had so many mental inputs that allowed me to leverage them in my mental warfare. Hunger is saying eat, mind saying is we're not committed to that. How do I win that fight? My mental inputs. Is this making sense to you guys? Okay, all right. The main reason most people have chaotic lives is because they are living in chaos in their heads. As soon as you get clear, it clears up. Get clear in your mind about where you are headed and what you want, and your life gets clear too. I had a client this year who spent most of the year working on financial clarity. And they had a lot of fear about seeing the initial spreadsheet, right? And they were like, Linnell, I can't believe I'm talking to you about this, because I was all in their business. Well, they invited me in, right? But I was all in their business. I mean, credit card debt, everything. Everything was on a spreadsheet. I can't believe I'm letting you look at this. I'm like, but you're clear now. Watch what happens in the second half of the year. What do you think happened? Finances went up or down? Up. Clarity. But if I live in financial chaos, well, what can you expect? So there are 4 reasons you keep failing. There are 4 reasons you keep failing. I want to talk about that. And for many of us, it's year after year after year after year. And it's one thing when you're noticing that you're on the upward climb, right? With my knee, it was like, oh, I'm not in as much pain. So I'm winning. I'm getting there, right? I'm going to hold on. But I'm talking about no progress, no traction. Every year I set the goal, I stop. Many of us experience that in our health, right? Most people I know set some type of health goal. Yeah. I remember, man, I set a goal. It was actually, I was going through the coach training program. And I started noticing like this little rubber. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. But I'm an executive at the time. I'm busy. It's just so much happening. And it's easy for a year to go by, right? Even with coaching support, I'm like, man, I can't get this. So what it took was clarity, right? To completely figure it out. So why am I failing year over year? Well, here are the 4 reasons, you guys. We already know number 1, right? Lack of clarity and focus. Number 2, limiting beliefs and poor self-image. Number 3, you're too comfortable and entertained, meaning you're too distracted. And number 4, you lack support. So let's dig in a little bit. This one we know, right? No clarity equals no discipline. There's no discipline. It's almost impossible to accomplish a goal. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Now, you're going to see this a few times. This is what I call the goal completion system, because like goals are about structure. Goals are about systems. So what we do is we take a goal, we actually put it into a system. And a system is a routine that you develop that becomes a habit that supports you in your clarity. So again, we talked about this: align, act, and adjust. Align, act, and adjust. We're going to come back to this. So Linnell, what if I'm clear, but I lack confidence? Anybody experienced this before? I'm clear on the goal, right? I know where I want to go. I can see it in my mind. I can see it in my mind, okay? And by the way, this doesn't mean, like, when I say I'm clear but I lack confidence, I want you to think about this in a particular way. It could be a health goal. It could be a relationship goal. It could be a money goal. It could be a career goal. It could be a spiritual goal. I mean, the list goes on, if you guys get where I'm going, right? But I'm clear. I know where I want to go. I'm crystal clear, but I lack the confidence. I lack the confidence to get there. So if you're saying clarity leads to confidence and confidence leads to consistency, I'm missing that confidence piece. So what do? Well, then this puts us at the second reason most people don't accomplish their goals. So why does this happen? Well, what we do know is it undermines your confidence. So the confidence I got from clarity is now undermined. It sabotages my effort. So before I can even begin, I'm already caught in the loop. It creates self-doubt and low self-worth. I'm comparing myself now. All these things are happening. And then it leads to resistance to most of my growth opportunities. One of the things, this work is interesting because I have the opportunity to talk to so many different people. And one of the things that breaks my heart is when I have a conversation with an individual who is clear. They reached out to me for a very clear reason. They're clear, but they don't believe they can. And they may say it with their mouth, but you can see they don't believe they can with their actions. They don't make the investment. Even sometimes when it's free. You guys follow? Like, this requires an investment of your time. It requires an investment of your presence. It requires an investment of your attention. And that's expensive these days. Very expensive. Most people are like, well, why would I put 2 hours into it if I'm not going to really do it anyway? That's a confidence thing. You guys get that? It's a confidence thing. Give yourselves a round of applause. Those of you in virtual land, like, at least you're like, I'm here. You're confident. You're confident. Okay. The other reason is I'm not enough. Now, this is what plagued me. And I can recall, so mind you, this is about, I went through the coaching program 2012, 2013 or so. And so when I went through the program, I learned about this pervasive context called the enough, not enough context. And it's a filter. Imagine you're wearing sunglasses and the sunglasses are blue. Every time you look at the sun's going to be green, right? So if I'm wearing these lenses, I can look at everything and come up with a reason why I'm not good enough to do it. You can say, hey, bro, why don't you come down here with me and these other guys? We're going to have a good time. It's like, well, they may not accept me. I might not be good enough for them, right? I'm wearing the glasses, right? It comes up everywhere. Or it may not be that. Like, well, this brother, he probably got more money than me. I'm not going to have enough money to hang out with him. Right? Or say, man, this guy, he's sitting next to a beautiful woman, and I'm not a good looking guy. I'm not good enough to be around women like that, so I probably can't hang with him. You guys see how this works? All right. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And it's pervasive. It gets into everything. And the problem with this is your results will never outgrow your self-perception. Your results can never outgrow your self-perception. How many people want to be a millionaire? But you do realize that in order for you to get those kind of results, you have to actually see yourself that way. So most people will work day and night on their business, day and night on marketing campaigns, day and night on being visible, day and night on being seen. Like, they'll work on that, but they won't work on how they see themselves. And so then they feel like they're spinning their wheels, and they'll say, well, this is not the business. Maybe I should switch businesses. You ever seen somebody who, like, in the last 5 years have done 6 things?
Yeah.
Right? Well, this is not the business. So maybe I need to switch businesses, because if I switch businesses, they say AI is taking off. I'm going to be an AI millionaire. You know what the problem is, though? If I don't see myself as an AI millionaire, everybody else can do it, but not me. Because my results can never outgrow my own self-perception. You could be in the hottest industry and still be broke. Got to see yourself that way. You can make $1 million and be broke. I know this for a fact because I coach these people. I'm telling you. Y'all laughing. I mean, broke with all types of debt concerns. Okay? All right. So, I'm not enough. I have these issues. How do I get past it? The framework. What are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding yourself? What are your mental inputs? I told this story last year at the Masterclass. I'll tell it again. I'm in the airport. I'm in Cancun. I had just finished writing the book, Slay Your Goals. I'm headed back. And he calls me up. He said, hey, bro, how you doing? How are things going? I said, I'm good. What are you doing? I'm talking to myself. You what? I'm talking to myself. What are you talking to yourself about? I'm just talking to myself. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm great. I'm powerful. I can do anything I put my mind to. I'm great. I'm powerful. I can do anything I put my mind to. I'm great. I'm powerful. I can do anything I put my mind to. Why am I repeating that to myself? Inputs. Mental inputs. Guess what? That was 2016. I didn't say it so much, I didn't fool myself. You follow? Okay. So, mental inputs. If you're dealing with I am not enough right now, change your mental diet. I'm living proof. Now, here's the power of self-belief. We talked about this last year. I'm going to go through it real fast. You got 2 options. You can believe in yourself, or you can allow those limiting beliefs to chain you down. So, if you deal with limiting beliefs, then this is your mental warfare. What story will I believe? So what story about yourself will you believe? This is what it comes down to. Now, somebody's saying, I thought I was going to learn how to set goals. I'm telling you something. If you don't learn this, it don't matter what goal you set. Okay? So you know how when they build a house, they got to lay a foundation? Let me lay the foundation. Y'all good with that? Okay.
Yep.
So your mental warfare is, what story will I believe? What story about myself will I believe? Am I healthy or unhealthy? Do I live with pain or am I pain free? You got to get to a point where you believe sometimes what feels impossible. When I had that knee pain, what I believed is I could live without it. But it felt impossible. But I wouldn't be up here without knee pain if I didn't believe what felt unreasonable. I just heard yesterday, I was at the gym, we had finished up playing ball. One of the guys said, yeah, man, we were talking about how, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're gonna stop selling RAM, like computer RAM, what makes your computer go quick. It's no longer on sale to consumers. It's off the market as of last week. It is completely off the market. AI data centers are taking it. It's off the market. So you can't go buy RAM. Try it. After this masterclass, not yet now, but try it, okay? You can't buy it, right? So right now, the only way to get it is like in a computer. So if you're in the market for a computer, go get a good computer with good RAM, because it's gonna go up next year. That's a little tip for you. All right, so we're talking about this and they're like, yeah, man, speaking of data centers, Elon Musk is talking about maybe we can put them in space and make them solar powered. This is what this man is sitting around thinking about. Some of us are trying to figure out, am I good enough for this job interview? You follow? What story will I believe? What story will I? There's no wonder the man's a billionaire. Because he believes in that story. I'm like, oh, let's put some data centers in the space and they're right next to the sun. We can power them that way. Connect them via satellites and people have AI all over the world. That's what he's thinking about. Some of us thinking about, will he like me on this next date? I promise you, if you walk in with Elon Musk's, confidence, they're gonna like you. Or they're gonna feel inadequate, one of the two, right? They walk in like that, like, how you doing? You got lucky today. You get where I'm going? Yeah, what story do you believe? What story do you believe? Mental warfare. This is the biggest part of the goal setting game. I'm telling you guys, this is the biggest part. Okay. We live within the stories we are told. Maybe you were told it in high school, kindergarten, whatever, but we live within that story unless we break it down. And then we retell it to ourselves. We live within those stories. We live within those stories. So then what story are you telling you about you? So what I want you to do right now, for those of you in the room, you can maybe gather in your row and I want to know what your self-belief weapons are going to be going into 2026. We'll give you 5 minutes. If you're in virtual land, I want you to just write it down in chat. Maybe let's do 3. Shouldn't take too long, right? But what are my self-belief weapons going to be in 2026? And DJ Joe, he's going to give us a little thinking music as we go. But what will my self-belief weapons be? Another way to think about this is my mental inputs. What will my mental inputs be in 2026? All right. So, Jadam, you guys can chat with each other here in the room.
Can you describe, can you give examples?
Yeah, so Sarah asked if I can give examples real quick. One of the things for me, you guys, my mental inputs, like, it's a routine, right? How do I align in the morning? I got a whole motivation channel on YouTube, right? That you know how I talk to myself? You are great. You are powerful. You can do anything you put your mind to. Then I got a YouTube channel that tells me the same thing, right? So I'm just living on a dream. You follow? That's a weapon. Like, those are my weapons. So then when something hits that's like, you can't do this, but I can, right? Because I got so many weapons. I'm not bringing, a knife to a gunfight. I got a bazooka. I'm so serious because I'm wired up on that. You follow? Okay. So that's what I mean. What are your self-belief weapons? What are your self-belief weapons? I want you to So one of the cool things about this is I can almost guarantee you that when you get started, you want to keep going, right? That's the beautiful and so here's what I want to do. I want to give you guys a practice going into the afternoon. On a car ride home, if you're with somebody, keep this conversation going, right? What are my self-belief weapons, right? Keep the conversation going. If there's nobody in the car with you, I want you to call a friend and say, hey, I just left this masterclass. You would not believe the framework this guy gave me. It's going to change my life and it's going to change your life. And what we need to figure out is, what are our self-belief weapons, right? What are my self-belief weapons? See, the difference is some of us didn't grow up in environments where, we were told we can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to, right? And so as a result, what we got to do now is we got to rewire our brain with those type of mental inputs so that we can go and do whatever it is that we intend to do. So we'll take that conversation on a bit later. All right. You guys good to continue? You guys good to continue? Yes. All right. All right. If we blew the top off your limiting beliefs in 2026, what would you accomplish? And I just want you to think about what you just shared with your partner, right? With your partners. Like, if I did that all 2026, what's possible for me? And just write it down, whatever comes to mind. Don't try to frame it. Don't try to, filter it any kind of way. Whatever comes to mind. If I took on this one practice, this self-belief practice, and I was able to blow the top off my limiting beliefs in 2026, what could I accomplish? What could I accomplish? I want you to write that down as your 2026 possibility. All right? You don't have a pen and paper, then put it in your phone. Some of the stuff you don't want to pass up on. Okay? If I blew the top off my limiting beliefs in 2026, what could I accomplish? What could you accomplish in 2026? One of the things that I do when I come across a business problem, revenue problem, sales problem, marketing problem, is I'll ask myself, how would Elon Musk handle this? I have the opportunity to work with some pretty phenomenal CEOs. I might even ask myself, how would he handle this? You get where I'm going? But another way, it's like a shift in context. I'm telling myself, I can't figure this out, but if I were someone else, how would they figure it out? You see where I'm going? Blowing the top off my limiting beliefs. All right, let's continue. So I'm going to end this conversation around beliefs with this. Some of you have seen this before. If you're a Slayer Goals member, you've seen this before. I believe I shared it at last year's Masterclass. This is really important. I want you to get this. So even if you're at home and you're in virtual land, you're washing dishes, blow the dishwasher, stop, pause, come over to the screen real quick. I want you to see this. So I think this is powerful, not only to hear, but to see. If you're driving, come back to it later.
What? This will be cool.
Number one, the composition of belief is the cognitive acceptance of a thought. I actually accept it. For all of us, there's been a day where somebody's like, you look good today, man. But you might not accept it. Today, I feel tired. I feel like I got hit by a truck. Right? You don't accept it. Right? You don't even accept the thought. My hair's not done. Some of you ladies know what I mean. You just grocery shopping. They're like, hey, nah. You like, you can't be talking to me. You can't even accept the thought. You follow? Right? Can't believe you're talking to me. Not today. Right? So the composition of belief is the ability to actually accept the thought. It is a rough day, but I do look good. Right? Even on my rough days. Even on my tired days. Right? Then, second is the emotional experience of that thought. Remember earlier when we talked about emotional capacity? This is why emotional capacity is so important, because I accept the thought. Now I have to emotionally experience the thought. So it's not just cognitive acceptance. It's also emotional experience. Then, if I can cognitively accept it and emotionally feel it and experience it, now I have to take action. I can have the first two, but if I don't act on it, I don't believe it. Is this making sense? I can have the first two. It can make all the sense in the world to me, but if I don't act on it, I don't really believe it. So the courage to take actions that align with that thought. All right? This is the composition of belief, you all. This is what belief looks like. My first public summit, it started with the cognitive acceptance of a thought. And then the emotional experience of how it would feel to do it. But it's a whole nother thing to act on it and to put tickets for sale. By the way, I'm starting to think that people show up better when they got to pay. Isn't that crazy? Like when I charge, I can get 500 people in a room. It's mind-blowing to me. I can't figure it out, right? It's crazy. This is a give back. It's going to be free. We're going to keep it free. But it's crazy to me. Like charge you $100, they'll show up. But I think it has something to do with this. I can't believe it's going to be any good, right? If it's free, right? Okay. So do you believe you have what it takes?
Yeah.
Do you believe you have what it takes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Do you believe you have what it takes? Yes. All right, there we go. There we go. Woo. All right. All right, number 3. You're too comfortable.
Yep.
You're too entertained. You're too distracted. You know the difference about this particular generation? And when I say this generation, I mean all of us that are alive right now. Because I know a baby boy would be like, I know, right? I'm like, no, I'm talking about you too. You got all the access that the young folks got. You can turn on Netflix just as quick. You can get on social media just as quick. Nothing slowing you down these days. Not at all. I'm talking about all of us, all the way down to Alpha. We are comfortable. Even if you don't have money, you are comfortable. And you could say you're not. Nah, man, you don't understand my life. But I've been all over the world. I've seen what discomfort looks like. Okay? Most of y'all, in the last 24 hours, you sat on porcelain to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You comfortable. Even if you broke, you sat on porcelain. Right? Even our homeless folks, a lot of them sit on porcelain. You know, because you came to the bathroom after them. You were like, Lord, what happened in here? Right? Comfortable. All right? We real comfortable over here. Then the second part is we are hyper entertained. Hyper entertained. You know what I plan to do next week? I've been working. We've been getting it. God is good. Next week, I plan to entertain myself. Will I have a problem?
Yeah.
Will I have an issue?
Oh.
Not at all. Now, I want you to really think about this. 100 years ago, what'd you say? My wife back there, like, entertain. Oh, with you want something? She want to get in on it too. She's like, me? Of course, baby. I already got it planned out. It's easy.
That's secret.
Right? It's easy. Y'all ignore my wife. But it's easy, right? Now, 100 years ago, you had to walk 10 miles to get entertained. You know, the circus is in town.
Yeah.
Where's it at? It's in the town, 10 miles over. Oh, you gonna take your horse and buggy? Can I catch a ride with you? You get where I'm going? You have to plan for that entertainment. You have to plan. Like 100 years ago, maybe let's do 150, because they had cars in 26, right? 1926, they had cars, so they probably, putt over. But 150 years ago, horse and buggy. And then the kind of entertainment they got with, live band, and you want to know, like, man, that's all they got? I mean, if you had a 3-string guitar, a tambourine, and a horn, let's get it. That's a party. My son's 8 years old. If I brought him into a band like that, he'd be like, what's this? Why? Because he's hyper entertained. Now, what's my point? My point is, we got it so good that we've become way too distracted to do the things that matter the most to us. Like it matters the most to you. But you can tune out too quick, and then check this out. This is why, right? Your urgency dies, and then the goal feels optional. It's like, man, if I can get my business to $100,000 this year, you go into 2026, you're like urgent. You like 25,000 in the first 3 months. If I can hit that, and then maybe you hit 5. And then the Netflix series comes out. It's cool, we good. It's cool. I got money. I'm all right. I'm pushing too hard. It starts to feel optional. Mm-hmm. Then here's the other part. Like, God forbid I set a goal that makes me have to wake up every day, like get to it. Like that's too disruptive. I got to change things up. If I set a health and well-being goal that's aggressive, you mean I gotta get up at 5 a.m. now? That's uncomfortable. Even in the summertime, it's cold. I'm not doing that. It's too much sacrifice. And then what if I don't lose the weight? Then I got up all those days and it's too risky. The other thing is, now I can build goals based on my mood. Not my mission. By the way, this is why purpose is so important. I believe that one of the reasons many of us aren't doing what we really should be doing is because we lack purpose. We lack purpose. I'm going to tell you something. What's happening with AI, like how it's about to infiltrate the job market, it already has in some ways. But if you don't know your purpose, people are going to be disoriented completely. I'm shocked by some of the people it's coming for. I mean, I'm getting the phone calls and emails. Like folks are like, hey, I got hit. I'm like, what you do again? I got hit. But if you got purpose, they can't take your purpose. You follow? AI can't duplicate your purpose. That is the beauty of the creator. It can't duplicate your purpose. But my goals are around my mood, not my mission. And so as a result, my urgency dies. Number 4, I just don't like being uncomfortable. When I feel discomfort, then, I'm gonna quit. And most of us mistake resistance as a sign that it's not for us. Resistance is a sign that you're absolutely 100% supposed to do it. I'm at a point now when I feel resistance, I get curious. Oh, why is that difficult? What's over there? Maybe I need to play over there where I feel the resistance at. Something really cool might be happening over there, must be happening over there if there's resistance, because right now, especially in the world of entertainment, there's not much resistance. I was watching that crazy Jake Paul fight last Friday, right? Signal went out a little bit. I just turned it off, turned it back on. Guess what? Right back. Ain't much resistance in entertainment, man. Like right back. Netflix, like, we got you. All right. And then you stay reactive rather than intentional. Yeah. So because I react so well, I'm not going to really push. Something comes up, I always handle it. And so I'm in that reactive mode. And by the way, you can get addicted to that because now you're like, oh, I'm highly entertained. I'm living a good life. I'm getting massive dopamine hits on a regular basis. And then when things go wrong, I react and I fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's an addictive cycle, by the way. Entertainment, because it's the same dopamine hit. You follow? It's the same dopamine hit. I'm entertained, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Something bad happens, I gotta fix it, react, fix it, dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. So I'm just living off dopamine. All right. I want you to think of distractions like this. Distractions are weeds that are choking out the fruit of your garden. The fruit of your garden is your mission, it's your purpose, it's what you're supposed to be creating in the world. And what I'm afraid of, especially with the advent of AI, is that so many people's fruit are being choked out by the weeds that when AI comes from them, they won't have anything to eat on. Might take a while for that one to really hit. You get where I'm going? I'd rather be constantly pulling the weeds as much as I can. Fruit healthy. Okay. Number 4, a lack of support. Now, Jody, it's so cool you're here because I get to refer to you often. Jody gave me a name when I went through my coach certification program. Part of it was I had to get over the fact that I needed the support. I didn't like the idea that I needed support in order to go hit a goal, that I needed support to transform my life. I really much rather do it on my own. She used to call me the lone wolf. Linnell, you're a lone wolf. She's like, you have to transform that. You want to do it alone. So if anybody doesn't like support, I understand. Like I used to be that guy, right? And I still have to challenge myself. Like, are you being supported? Are you allowing other people to support you? From coaching all the way down to my team. But one of the fundamental reasons why we don't accomplish what we intend to accomplish is because we're under supported. We're under supported. No external support equals low self-awareness and blind spots. In a bit, I'm going to go through the 4 cycles of coaching. Cycle number 1 is self-awareness. If I am not aware, or I don't have anyone driving awareness for me, then I have so many choices I don't have access to. So many directions I can go that I don't even begin to know. So much possibility that's not unearthed. No external support. Then lower standards become your norm because you're isolated. You don't even know you're not operating at a high level. How many of you, like within your circle, within your family structures, I mean, many of us within our families, like we're top earners, you're the person they call. Something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So you're support for everybody else. Financial support, hey, cuz, man, I know you got it. I know you got it, cuz, right? You that person. But do you have anybody else that you could go to? Do you lack support? You get where I'm going? Like somebody else that if you ran into a real, if you're a thousandaire, you got a millionaire friend? If you're a millionaire, you got an 8-figure friend? You follow like who you could actually say, I need some support, and they give it to you. But here's the thing about folks like that, at least the ones in my circle, they're going to make me aware. If I call one of my 10-figure buddies and like, hey man, they're going to be like, they want to know everything. And they're going to point to my blind spots. And this is how you're going to fix it. And this is what you're going to do. I want to see the money back in 6 months. That's uncomfortable. So you know what we do? A lot of times we just cut those folks off. That's uncomfortable. Because of that, it's a lack of accountability. Nobody driving you. I got a buddy. He's wealthy. He only calls me when he's in trouble. Multi-millionaire. Account went down to 6 figures. I got a phone call. Right? Hey, hell. What's up, man? Whew. I need to get this contract over the table. I feel uncomfortable. When I say 6 figures, I ain't talking about 100,000. He was like 3/4, but he was uncomfortable. I ain't never had this little on my account, man. I need to finish this. And now he's calling, right? What's going on? How did you get here? We got to talk about that. Yeah, man, accountability. And then isolation amplifies doubt. One of the beautiful things about community is encouragement. And community also normalizes the struggle. Like you're in conversation with people who are like, oh man, I've been through that. You good, keep going. With no community, no support, same mistakes. Same mistakes because you don't know you're making them. You don't know you're making them. You ever talk to somebody who they eat the same thing and have the same problem all the time? And it don't seem to occur to them that they're making the same mistake. You know, like, man, you good, bro? Man, my stomach bloated, man. I feel horrible. What did you eat? You could tell, it's the same thing over and over, right? It's like same mistakes over and over. No external visibility. Here's the last one. You lose emotional fuel due to no external encouragement. Okay. So here are the 4 reasons, you guys. Lack of clarity, limiting beliefs, and poor self-image. We're too entertained, too distracted, too comfortable, and we don't have support.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you go see the vibes back real quick?
Yeah. The next one.
Yeah.
Oh, this one? All right. Here, take a quick picture.
No, it's not.
All right.
Hey.
No.
Is this good so far? Yeah. All right. All right. Is it worth it? Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. All right. I want to shift gears real quick. We just covered the 4 reasons that many of us fail at our goals year over year over year. Okay. Now, here's one of the scary things. It's funny. I don't have my phone with me. You got it? It's okay. Is that yours or mine? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I get these text messages from a spiritual leader. And one of the text messages they sent today was a scripture. I think it's Hosea 2:9. Look it up real quick. But what it said was, my people perish from lack of knowledge. When I started looking at the 12 universal laws, the scariest thing about the 12 universal laws is that they work whether you know them or not. And if you know them, then you can align yourself properly. But if you don't know them, then you're going to constantly be asking yourself, why aren't things working? Constantly. This is what I believe is one of the most important universal laws. How many of you in virtual land put a yes, know about the law of attraction? Yeah. But most people don't know the law that is based in. This is the immutable law. The law of attraction is a secondary law. Most of us don't know the primary law. The primary law is the law of vibration and frequency. So I taught on this last year, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I want to spend more time on the law of entropy. But here's the law of vibration. Everything vibrates. The law of vibration states that everything in the universe is constantly vibrating with a specific frequency. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because our thoughts, emotions, and actions all have unique frequencies that influence our experiences and create our reality. Remember I talked about emotional capacity? You see why I keep coming back to emotions? For those of you all who follow me, you understand now why November last year, I had no emotion about the election? Are you starting to get it? You know where my emotions are? Anybody? Where are my emotions? In my goals. In my goals. My emotions are based on what's happening in my family unit and my goals. You're like, oh, you know what Trump did? What'd he do? It don't really emotionally matter to me. You follow? Because my emotional currency is too expensive. I can't give it to CNN. I can't give it to Fox. I watch it like it's a spectacle. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, my wife would tell you, if I'm watching CNN, I'd be like, hey, baby, go to Fox and see what they're saying. Let's go see what they're saying about this. Oh, yeah, it's different, huh? To me, it's funny. I can't get too emotionally caught up in that. My emotions are based in my goals, right? Okay. So why? Because they emit frequencies. There's a vibration. I can't afford for my vibration to shift based on external information that doesn't directly impact me in the moment. Now you say, Linnell, you don't care about what's happening to detainees in these centers over in Broadview? Yes, I do. I pray for them. Right? I'll even fund like, oh, they going over there to protest what they need. Like, right? But I can't wear it in my emotions. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Frequency and resonance. Objects vibrate at specific frequencies and can resonate with other objects at similar frequencies. I want you to pay attention to this part. Objects vibrate at specific frequencies and can resonate with other objects at similar frequencies. What does that mean? There's like a money frequency. There's a broke frequency. There's I got a little bit frequency. I got enough to pay the bills frequency. I got abundance frequency. Are you all following?
No.
And wherever you're vibrating, that's where you are. And if you want to vibrate on another level, you have to be vibrating on that level before it shows up. You have to be what it is you intend to have. We're going to cover that in a little bit real fast. All right. So you have different vibrations, high vibrations, low vibrations, medium vibrations. Ever walked into a room and there was a low vibration?
Yep.
Like, what's going on here? What just happened? Right? You can tell something bad just happened. You just walked in, you know, vibration. Okay, that's the importance of it. Last year we did the song thing. We don't have time to do that this year. But there's vibrations in music, you all. Okay? There's vibrations in music. Remember we talked about mental inputs? Music is a mental and emotional input. All we have to do is play one song to prove this.
Yep.
Right? It'll make you feel a certain kind of way. It'll make you think a certain kind of way. Right? So, you want to shift your emotional capacity, find the right music. Find the right music. Okay. Let's talk about the law of entropy. This one here is really important. Here's why. Entropy is the natural tendency towards disorder, decay, and randomness. Entropy happens when you do absolutely nothing. This is a natural state. This is a law. If you don't exercise, your body will go into disorder, decay, and then random illness will hit you. Period. It's a law. It's a law. There's no way around it. Remember I said, like, knowledge is everything. Because when I understand the laws, right, then I align, act, and adjust. Here's the real life application. Everything falls apart without maintenance. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? I can lay. I want you to hear me on this. I can lay a brand new slab of concrete right outside the building today. If we don't do anything with it in 1 year, watch how it's overgrown. Brand new. 1 year, overgrown. 2 years, the weeds will start to grow so much, it'll crack it. 3 years, it'll turn into rubble. If you don't do anything, it will decay, period. It's a law. It's a law. So without maintenance, your body will fall apart, your business will fall apart, your marriage, your house, that beautiful house, stop cleaning it.
Yep.
Should be panicked.
Right? And you don't have to do anything. You can sit in one corner of it. It will still get dirty and dusty and fall apart. Your calendar, your mindset. You know how this applies to a calendar? If you don't already have 2026 yet, like set,
Yo.
January will start falling apart on you. If you don't have it laid out, it will lay out itself. Try me, I bet you. You will be busy. If you don't have to put nothing on it, you'll still be busy. And your mindset. So entropy shows up as drift, clutter, compromise, complexity, all those things. Okay. Here's the science. The second law of thermodynamics says that in an isolated system, entropy tends to increase over time. I want you to think about that. So if I stay to myself, my entropy will increase over time. So if I'm outside of a community, I'll drop. If I don't have support, I'll drop. Is this making sense to you guys? Like isolated systems, entropy tends to increase over time. Number 2, energy becomes less available to do useful work unless you add inputs. What's the framework? Starts with mental inputs. What are mental inputs? Fuel, effort, structure. Fuel, effort, structure. So what's the translation? Usable order is expensive while disorder is free. Whew. If you don't manage it, it will degrade. This is heavy, man. Now, you know what else? It's a law. There's no getting around it. No getting around it. A couple of Sundays ago, I was with my cousin. He said, man, the game ended. It was a 3 o'clock game. Game ended at 7. He said, where you going? Because I was with them. I said, I got to get out of here. Got to get up in the morning, play ball. He said, man, you crazy. Am I crazy or is he crazy? You understanding why? If I don't keep pushing against this, everything will fall apart. It requires that I get up. It requires that I do the expensive thing. Okay. Usable order is expensive. All right. So how do we beat it? We create structures that survive low motivation, create systems with fixed routines, set automatic reminders. You schedule maintenance. In the summertime, every week, Thursday, right? My wife and I would hear them outside. Maintenance, right? Landscaping, maintenance, like clockwork, right? It's on schedule. Create weekly reviews, recommit after breakdowns and cleanup misses, and you use accountability. Hire a coach. Join a community. Enroll a partner. Hey, we're doing 26 together. We're going to talk once a week. What's working? What's not working? Because without that, what happens? You fall into disorder. Create a visible scorecard. It's a huge one. People don't like red. Right? 4 pillars. Scorecard. Health and well-being. Green, yellow, red. Relationship and love, green, yellow, red. You get where I'm going? Like, that keeps entropy away. Money, green, yellow, red. You might have to put one of those in our house. That's, boom, 2 of them. My wife could her color up, I put mine. Where we at? This clicking?
Yep.
Spirituality, green, yellow, red. So this is why this system is so important right here. Because I wake up every morning. By the way, I've been really trying to figure out how to like capture my routine. Like, what is it that I like? How do I get these systems? How's it going? This is the best I can do. It may get better, you all, but this is the best I can do to this point. I wake up, I read my goals, right? Maybe not right away. Sometimes it's not until I get to the office. Doing a weekday, Tuesday morning, take my son to school. Sometimes it's not until I walk into that office about 8:30. First thing I do, goals, align. Why? Because that leads to clarity. Now I know how to act, what actions to take throughout the day, taking strategic action. If I read my email, is that strategic?
No.
No. Is that where I'm pulled? Naturally, right? Everything that works is counterintuitive. I'm telling you. I don't know why the creator made it that way. So then once I'm acting strategically, I'm learning things about myself. Okay, I said I was going to do these 3 things today. I got 2 done. Do I quit? Do I give up? Or do I use it as adjustment material? I adjust. What did I do different? Oh, you know what? I took that call that came in from my buddy. That killed like 30 minutes. In the future, I got to send him a voicemail. I adjust because I didn't get that thing done. I'm adjusting. The commitment is progress, not perfection. I'm a human, right? That was a good phone call. He was spilling all kinds of tea. Went too long. That gives me insight on how I align the next day. Does that make sense? My system. Wash, rest, repeat. Wash, rest, repeat. Linnell, that's boring. I'm going to tell you, boring gets you there. Boring gets you there. Boring will get you there. Discipline is an anti-entropy force. Clarity fuels discipline. Coaching generates clarity. Coaching generates clarity. I get the question like, man, you still work with a coach? Yes. If clarity equals discipline, you think I can see it all by myself? There would be no Nature's Leadership Code book without my coach. He saw it, I didn't see it. Write a book? What are you talking about? Clarity. And then I saw the vision, like he supported me in seeing the vision. It was so clear that I had the discipline to write it.
Yep.
That makes sense? Okay. All right. You guys ready to shift gears? I want to talk to you a little bit about how I do this work. And what I'm going to share next is the 4-step coaching cycle. And this is the beauty, I believe, of coaching fundamentally, whether it's with me or anybody else. And if you're a coach, this is what you do. So feel free to take it. All right. So first, what is ontological coaching? Go through this real quick. It's a powerful methodology that facilitates transformation in your life. And what I love about it is the second bullet. It allows the coach to quickly understand what drives your behaviors and ultimately your ways of being. Why is that important? Because you have to be before you have. All right? You got to be before you have. All right? And that's how a coach can help you. You're not being who you intend to be based on what I just heard. It provides new levels of personal awareness that create new strategies and enhance existing competencies. So what is ontological coaching? I want you to focus on the big words here. Number 1, new awareness. That leads to new choices. So I don't think I've been on Euclid before, right? Hey, Jay, what's the best place to eat around here?
The Wolf or Rustico?
And that, what kind of restaurant is that?
Rustico is Italian.
It's Italian. I didn't know that before. Did you all know that? Now you have access to what? Brand new choice. Brand new choice. Awareness leads to new choices. All right? Then you choose with powerful intention. You choose with powerful intention. How do you choose with powerful intention? Because you get supported with distinguishing your why. Most folks don't finish what they start because they don't truly know why they started in the first place. And so that's why they got that, again, clarity. Why? Why is your anchor? And when you know why, you almost always stick to it. And if you don't, you thought you knew why, but you didn't stick to it, you didn't know why. There's no clarity. Does that make sense? Okay. And then that leads to transformational change. And then you watch, rinse, and repeat this. But coaching is expensive. Coaching is expensive, right?
Yes.
Yeah?
That's right.
Huh? It's relative? Okay. Let me ask you this. If you could afford coaching, would you make the investment?
Yeah.
And then if you're in virtual land, just put down yes. If you could afford coaching, would you make the investment? Yes, let me see your hands. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, if you could afford coaching, you make the investment. All right. Well, this is what I call the 3 Ps that transform a person's vibration. Number 1, places. Number 2, people. Number 3, the process. Okay? So the place, Slay Your Goals Coaching Community. This is the first offer I said I was going to make. All right? We'll go through this real fast. Number 2, the people. That's the members. We've got a phenomenal community of members. Many of them are here today. And then the process. We walk through the 4 pillars of life. We talk about the science of goal setting. You learn that. Slay Your Goals workbook. We understand the 12 universal laws. We use that. And we also cover AI, how to leverage the new era of AI and robotics. Slay Your Goals members have received hours of training on AI. And we have another training session coming up Monday. Okay? This is what it looks like. Live coaching 2 times a month with me. Second Sunday, 9:30, fourth Thursday at 7 p.m. Hot seat coaching on your goals. Monthly strategy and working session for 90 minutes. This is brand new, you guys. So one of the things that I've been learning from Slay Your Goals members is like that strategy time, right? So we have set strategy time on the calendar for 2026. You show up, you do your strategy work. If you have a question, I'm there. I'm doing my strategy work, right? I'm doing my strategy work. You got a question, you just come off mute. Hey, Linnell, what about this, this, and that? Oh, I'm gonna answer your question. Go back on mute. We're just gonna work for 90 minutes. Sometimes we might be in silence. I don't think it's gonna be that way for the first 6 months, right? You know, but we'll work in silence. Otherwise, you get a question, come off mute. There's lots of questions, we'll line them up with hands, right? Get our strategy done, planning done, all right? Then you have access to the 7-module online course, all that for $97 a month. And then you also get quarterly AI training. You can use the QR code if you want to learn more about that. All right, I'm gonna leave it up there for a second. Okay, so the lack of support thing, that's gone. Now, I'll come back to this later, but for less than $1,200 a year, you can get support. That's insane. When you know how much one-on-one coaching costs a month. We'll go back there later. All right. So you can join the community. It's a great community. All right. Here's some of the things you're going to learn in that community. Number 1, how to take control of your life. This is the how to take control of your life framework. We walk through this framework every session. It's always there, right? You envision the result, visualize, feel, and embrace the future possibility. You declare the result. You write the goal down. We're going to talk about writing the goal in a moment. But there's a very specific way you want to write the goal. SMART goals do not work in your personal life. Some of y'all laughing because you already know it. I'm the number one I tried it. Corporate executive, every SMART goal at work I could hit. That's why I climbed the ladder so fast. And I was like, why is this not working for me? It wasn't working in my health. It wasn't working in my relationships before I met my wife because they kept just green light going, right? And then, thank God, because I married a beautiful woman, wonderful woman. Wasn't working in my money. I know what it's like to make well over 6 figures and still kind of be like, what happened, right? Definitely wasn't working spiritually. Okay, so SMART goals don't work. Then you learn how to affirm the goals. We're going to have strategy time every month, 90 minutes. So that way you know you're taking purposeful action. And we wash, rinse, and repeat every month. The only way to get from point A to point B is to get crystal clear on your vision. I think I pounded this one home. Yeah? You guys, we clear on this?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Somebody's going to walk out. It's going to be the end of January. And like, why am I messed up? The answer is here. That's why I keep hitting it the way I am. Because I get these emails and phone calls. Clarity, 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 clarity. The only way to get from point A to point B is to get crystal clear, so clear it is mentally and emotionally compelling. Mentally and emotionally compelling. I can feel it. Mentally and emotionally compelling. So in the Slay Your Goals coaching community, you learn how to clearly define success. What does that look like for you? If you can't figure it out in a session, you get coaching, right? First come, first serve. No clarity equals no discipline. We don't want to be there. We use this framework: align, act, adjust. Align, act, adjust. So let's talk about writing goals, because somebody came here and they're like, yeah, man, that's cool. I don't need the community. I just want to learn how to write a goal. Well, this is how I do it. Number one, what's the experience you want to have as a result of achieving the goal? Because again, remember, goal setting is emotional. So what is the emotional experience you want to have? Number two, we identified 3 emotive experiences and we drop them in. I want to experience X, Y, Z by, due to, when, as a result of, right? And I'm going to tell you something. I've been coaching a long time. I've been teaching this a long time. As simple as it sounds, I have people who write their goal, even using the framework, and there's something powerful about support. Even for me, there's something powerful about support. Here's an example of a goal like that: to experience feeling healthy, flexible, and energetic due to maintaining an exercise regimen that allows me to engage in outdoor activities I enjoy by June 2026. That's an example. By the way, this doesn't work if it's not yours, because again, it has to be mentally and emotionally compelling. So for somebody that sounds like a lot of work, that's not your goal. All right. To experience the wonder and pride and celebration that will occur as a result of purchasing our dream home and making it our house and making it our home by November 2026. All right, those are examples. All right. Now, why is that important? Because when you generalize, it confuses your brain. Remember, clarity is what matters. Clarity is what matters. So you'll also learn how to create your measures for success. Ask yourself better questions. And here's some of the questions you want to ask when you're setting a goal. Like, why do I really want this? What result am I after? What will be the final outcome? Why am I going for this? These are some of the questions you want to ask. Then, again, remember, mental inputs. So then after that, I must affirm the goals daily. You know what's crazy? How many of you, like you look at some social media platform every day? That's all. For real? For real? Like for real. Like how many of you look at a social media platform every day? At least once a day. All right, that's just about everybody. Okay. How many minutes on average do you spend on that social media platform? How many?
Actually, there's a name. It's got it.
About an hour? Okay, they being honest. Anybody else?
3 hours.
3 hours?
But most of mine is motivation.
Okay, 3 hours a day. That's fine. That's fine. What's that? 20 minutes marketing? Okay. You and I are a lot alike. Oh, if I didn't have to go in, I would. You want to know why? Because, man, it will take, it'll take you places, right? Boy, I treat it like it got the cooties. I'm so, man, it will, because you could be like, I'm about to send the CEO this email and woo, what? You can send this to Pam. Man, look at that. She gonna laugh at that. You look up, you be like, what? Right, yeah, man, right? Just like that. Why am I talking about this? You wanna know how long it takes you to read your goals and affirm your goals? Who said it? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You know how I know? Because I've timed my clients. Read your goals. And then read your affirmations. Regular. They're not even going, they're just reading it regular. To experience, right? They read them. Give me 4 or 5 goals. Nice pace. All right, move to your affirmations. They read the affirmations. The last one I did was 1 minute, 40 seconds. Why are we not doing this every day? Why? Why is there so much resistance? No clarity? No clarity. It is the mental input. I mean, just imagine if you read what's most important to you in your life in 2026 every day, 2 minutes, every day, how your life would change. Every day. You know why we don't? There's no dopamine hit.
Why?
In fact, many times after I read my goals, I feel anxious. Not bad anxious, good anxious. There's nothing wrong with anxiety when it's healthy. You know what I'm anxious about? The gap. The gap between where I am and where I intend to be. And that anxiety drives some level of urgency. It's a good feeling. But most folks don't want to feel that. We're too comfortable. So we learn how to affirm our goals daily. And this is how we affirm. This is how I affirm, right? I'm happy and grateful. I'm experiencing the wonder and pride of living in my dream home. I'll close my eyes, I'll see it. Many of you know the story of how my wife and I bought our home. Wasn't even on the market. Wasn't even on the market when she pointed at it and said, I want that house. Wasn't even on the market. We use this process. We live in that house. All right? I try to make it as simple as possible. I'm telling you guys, it works, okay? You visualize your goals daily, morning, evening. Daydream, reconnect to the emotional aspects of your goal. Many of us are daydreaming. Are you daydreaming about your goals? Identify intentional mental inputs that align with the goals. You fuel the goal. No fuel, no movement. So you know what I'm listening to. You know what I'm watching. Like anything that fuels the goal. I talked about before we bought the house, it's 2021, early 2022. Every night I went to bed, I looked at MLS listings. Fueling the goal. Right? Fueling the goal. Every night. My wife would tell you, every night. That's what I want to because I'm like, man, she's pregnant. We got to get out of here. Okay. Here's the last part. You have to make it a priority to be in relationship with yourself. When you're in good relationship with yourself, it makes it so much easier for other people to be in relationship with you. My wife will point to something And I'll be like, yeah, I know. I know it's a gap, baby. I appreciate you for being with me in the gap. Because I see myself. I'm in relationship with myself. I also have that external support that's pointing to it too, right? Reflect daily. Notice your strengths and weaknesses without judgment, just curiosity. You're human. Progress, not perfection. Know your drivers. What are my intrinsic motivators? Like, do you know that about yourself? What's the thing that really gets you fired up? Like, if I do this, it gets me going. Like, one of mine is Les Brown. There's something about his voice, something to make, man, ooh, Les. Les will get me going. I'll run around this whole building. Right? I'm so serious. What gets you fired up? Like, what makes you like, right? You know what else gets me fired up? Michael Jordan videos. Man, not even to play basketball, just to win in life. The level of just intensity he had. I just watch a few of them. I'm like, I got a buddy on social media. That's all we do is trade Michael Jordan videos. That's it. He be like, hey, yo, watch this one. When I see something come in from him, if it's in the middle of the day, I'm going to watch it because I know it's going to be MJ getting busy. Right? Imagine that before you go into a sales call. What? I'm about to MJ y'all. Right? And then, because you're human, you're going to have breakdowns. Commitment is not perfection. Commitment is not perfection. Remember I put the chicken nugget in my mouth? I wanted to swallow. I didn't. I spit it out, but I wanted to. Right? But, you know, even if I did, the idea is that the next day you restart, right? Okay. All right. So one of the questions I get is how you do life in the daily grind. Here's the problem with the daily grind. This is, like, I check this research every year about this time just to see, like, did it change at all? Is there new information out there? Every year, same thing. 75% of people will abandon their goals by February 1st. Done. I'm going to tell you, 2025 was crazy. I think it was lower because the gym was packed the first 2 weeks. As somebody who's a regular gym goer, you're just kind of like, oh boy, how y'all doing? And I want to, you know, I'm a coach. I want them to be there all year. But then there's a part of me that's like, Lord, when they going to go ahead and scatter out? Right? I need the machine, brother. Like, you ain't going to be here all year. You wasting my time. Right? You know what I'm saying? But it's packed. This year, it was 2 weeks. That third week I walked up there, I was like, yo, because it's the regulars, right? I said, where everybody at? They said, good riddance. Where everybody at? They like, hey, coach, you know they gone. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. You know what happened? I think we had a snowstorm. They killed it. Done. According to the University of Scranton, only 8% of people are successful in achieving their New Year's resolutions. 8%. That means that in this room, we really count that up, right? It's really like this section right here. Everybody else? Oh, well. So then the question becomes, how do I be an 8, right? Because 92% of all goal setters never achieve their goals. This is why this is not a popular conversation. You know, if you try to invite somebody out, like, hey, you want to go? They be like, oh, that's cool. Good for you. Right. Good luck. Right? Because most folks, man, they see this as, it's a waste of my time. I say I'm going to do it. I never do. So I'm done. And now they're at effect of the law of entropy and don't even realize it. Don't even realize it. All right, so how do we join the 8? How do we join the 8? You create intentional accountability. There's research. Here's the research right here. Accountability accelerates your performance. The American Society of Training and Development did a study on accountability that found that you have a 65% chance of completing a goal if you commit to someone outside of yourself. And if you have a specific accountability appointment with that person, you will increase your chance of success by up to 95%. Up to 95%. But here's the thing, right? So it requires that you get vulnerable. It requires that you let somebody else into your stuff.
Right.
That's a high cost. That's a heavy cost, right? But how bad do you want it is the question. That's really what it comes down to. The best way that I found to create intentional accountability at an affordable price, Slay Your Goals coaching community. All right, so let's do this real quick. I want to really walk you through what I'm offering here. Here's what you get. 2 months of coaching, second Sunday, fourth Thursday, posse coaching, first come, first serve. If you miss it, you get the recording. Monthly strategy and working session, 90 minutes. We're going to have themes, business, building your business, right? Entrepreneurship, want to create a side hustle. How do we have little different themes? First 3 months of the year, all about how we set the goal. How do we create the plans though? All right. Monthly momentum checkpoints, live Q&A, doing those strategy sessions. You also get access to the online course because here's the thing. We retain 18% of what we hear. You've been sitting here a long time. You're not going to retain all this. So now you can go back, watch it at your own pace. Okay. We build this on the 4 pillars of life. I believe that goal setting is not something you do just around one thing, right? We do it across every pillar. You should be healthy. You should have loving relationships. Your purpose and spirituality should be in order. And your money should be working. Your finance should be working. Your career should be working. One of the things I do is I go into corporate America and I train high performance leaders. Part of that training is how do you go to the next level? The company's investing in them because they want them to go to the next level. You get that training in Slay Your Goals. You get the same things that they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for. I'll give it to you, okay? You get the digital workbook to set your goals, exclusive access to the 60-day challenge that kicks off in January, the Science of Goal Setting audio compilation, access mental input, right? You gotta see, this is built around that framework, okay? Access to your Slay Your Goals membership, the community, ongoing chat. The community is there for, it's a phenomenal community. Slay Your Goals members, just put your hands together and here, right? Put your hands together. It's a phenomenal community. And by the way, it spans all over the country. And so you have segments in New York, you got segments in Texas, and they meeting up and all kinds of things. We had a meetup last year here in Chicago. You get the complete 2026 calendar so you can plan all the live sessions, monthly themes, special events. You'll get that PDF at the start of January. If we can get it out sooner than that, we'll give it to you. You get exclusive access to that 60-day challenge. This is what it looks like, you guys. Week 2, solidifying your success. Remember, second Sunday. Week 4, that fourth Thursday, simple scientific techniques for success. Week 6, February, second Sunday, big goal setting mistakes people make so you can avoid them. Week 8, fourth Thursday, creating your plan. Now, somebody would say, well, I'm not going into 2026 with a plan. I wouldn't advise that. Here's why. Because we pay attention to the law of vibration. Right now, if you're in the Midwest, the vibration is low. Just look outside. So one of the reasons I believe so many people quit is because they're setting goals, they're planting seeds in the winter. So we create our plan, right? We set the goals, we start creating a plan, we cast a vision. So that way we drop seeds by March, April, when the vibration is high. The likelihood of success, much higher. We pay attention to the laws, okay? You get AI quarterly training, 90-minute trainings. I mean, if you don't understand AI, you go through this, you will. What's a large language model? What's tokenization? How do you work all these things? I mean, you get it A to Z. One of the things that we're doing right now at Insights for Life is we're training executives on AI fluency. You get that. What's happening is many organizations are dropping in ChatGPT, Enterprise ChatGPT, Enterprise Gemini. The executives, they got this powerful tool. They don't know how to use it. They're bringing our organization in to train them on how to properly use it. You get access to all that information so you can use it in your personal life, you can use it in your business, and you can leverage it. This is the 2026 roadmap. Take a picture of that. This is what it looks like for 2026. These are the themes of the month. You see, we hit everything. Taking control of your health, creating healthy relationships, work, business, and finances, supercharging your life, creating your 2027 vision towards the end of the year so you actually go into 2027 clear. Here's your monthly investment here, right? So you can see what a lot of value. Testimonials. And you can see how it all basically lines up. What I'm doing is I'm giving you all of this, $47 a month. All right? That's the cost, $47 a month. If this is something that you believe you want to take advantage of going into the new year, you can scan that QR code. All right. Those of you watching this, or you're watching this on your phone, you can go to slayyourgoals.com, drop that in there for them because they might be watching it on their phone. You can go to slayyourgoals.com, click, become a member, and you're all set. Now, if you're a current Slay Your Goals member, nothing changes for you. Nothing changes at all. The price doesn't change. Nothing changes. You're in. All right? That makes sense? Okay. I see some of y'all like, this is different. You already in. Okay? All right.
So we are.
You don't have to do anything. You have to do anything. All right? You already get all of this. Okay?
We decided not to have a
Always. Yeah. Yep. That happens in April. That'll happen in April. Okay. So come in today. Price is locked in. You can cancel anytime. I don't believe in contracts. You just go. All right. First 30 days, you get a money back guarantee. So you can get all the way to January 30th. And you like, yeah, nah. Okay. Get your money back. All right. All sessions are recorded. This offer ends January 4th. Here's the thing. If you join now, you can get the fourth quarter training, the AI training. Monday, we're talking AI agents. AI agents. I'm going to be sharing with you all how we use AI agents in my business. We have 12 agents. I'm going to be sharing those agents, how we work, how they work, how the team uses them, how we use them in almost everything that we do. Okay? All right. Doing Q&A. If you have a question, you can come up. You can use those QR codes. All right, let's keep going. I got a little bit more to cover before I let you go. All right. Is that, I mean, that's solid, isn't it? Yeah. That's solid? Yeah. Okay. All right. I told you I was going to sell you something. I sold you something. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the number one secret. So you heard me say this. Here's the framework for it. If you want to create something in your life, you have to be it because it all aligns with who you be. So this is connected to your current identity, which correlates to your current vibration and frequency. So if I want to go to another level in my life, I first have to be it. Most of us want to have it, but that doesn't work. I believe 78% of lotto winners lose it. right? Why? Because they got something, they have money that they do not be. And so sooner than later, they revert back to who they be, broke. I mean, it's sad, really. I mean, it's sad. But because they weren't being millionaire, when they became a millionaire, they go back to who they were being relatively quickly. All right? In fact, I don't know how many of the other 22% are millionaires already, but I remember years ago I met a couple that they were millionaires, and all they do is play the lottery, and they keep winning millions. They got millions of dollars. They play hundreds of thousands of dollars of lottery tickets. You know, like, does it make sense? And the rest of it is safely invested, and so they just keep winning money. It's the craziest thing. But yeah. And I talked to them, and they were like, oh, yeah, it's a system for us, and that's what they do.
Why not?
But why are they attracting it? Because they have it. They got it, right? Okay. So then we start with B. What do? What you do is connected to your activity, which is the outcome of everything that you either consume or produce. I want you to really pay attention to that. What you do is the outcome of what you consume. What you do is the outcome of what you consume. Remember mental inputs? Like if you thought I just woke up one day and created that framework, like it took time. Because I'm like, man, mental inputs play a huge role in how we move, all the way down to what we do. When you have, this is connected to your current possessions and property, which are a result of who you've been and currently are being, and what you have or haven't done. Is this making sense? All right. Why is this important? The number one secret is knowing your why. Because your why is who you be fundamentally. So if I know my why, then I don't oscillate when it comes to who I be. I'm very clear on my identity. My identity is connected. So knowing your why requires that you know yourself. In order for me to know my fundamental why, I have to know myself. I have to understand my identity. Most folks don't know who they are. Nietzsche said, he who has a why can bear almost any how. So right now, if you've had a goal that felt like, man, it's just so out there and it's going to be so difficult. If it's connected to who you be, you can get there. But it's got to be connected to who you be intrinsically. Otherwise, you won't get there. It's got to be that clear. Your why is sourced by your purpose. What is your reason for being? The likelihood of being alive as a human being on Earth is 1 in an 8 billion chance. Like the odds that you exist are actually lower than the odds that you don't exist. Does that make sense to you guys? You're here. So you're here for a reason. Like you've been created for a reason. You have a real why, a purpose. There's something that only you can do, only you fundamentally, and it's connected to your identity. Here's how I think about purpose. And this is also why I think so many people struggle with goals, okay? If your purpose is unknown, then I want you to think of yourself on the outskirts of this graph, okay? If your purpose is known, then I want you to think of yourself there in the middle. So I know my why, and so all my goals are connected to my why, okay? Every goal that I set every year is connected to my purpose, is connected to my identity. But if I don't know my why, my goals are misaligned. Let's go. A lot of work for nothing, really. And this is why folks get kind of disenchanted with the goal setting conversation. But if my goal is aligned, it actually leads to my own particular level of greatness. Okay? And there's something cool about when you're aligned that everything gets turned on. The biological triggers get turned on. Like Now you're functioning on a whole different level because you're in tune, right? You're in tune. But imagine if you're setting all of your goals on the outside. You just kind of always feel like you're, missing just a little something. Your interests are really just biological triggers notifying you in the present of your future potential. This is, Carl Jung. He says, why else would you be interested? But the problem is most of us don't pay attention to ourselves. Over the years, my interests have changed. I pay attention to that. When all of a sudden, I'm like, what's this AI thing? Like, I'm like, hey, man, I want to learn more about it. I pay attention to that. Lucky for me, it happened in 2022. Right? By 2023, I'm deep in education. 2024, I'm going through a fellowship. 2025, I'm selling it to clients. Had no clue. I just paid attention to it. Is this making sense to you guys? Okay. So somebody might say, well, Linnell, I don't know my purpose. Well, you have to make that your number one priority. So I want you to scratch everything else I said. Because it doesn't matter really if you're not building on solid ground. You have to know your purpose. So another way of saying this is you make knowing yourself your number one priority over anything else. Now, one of the questions I've gotten in the past is it too late? Well, Linnell, I'm in my senior years. And it's like, man, I can think of many people. There's one consultant, I can't remember his name, but he wrote his best 13 books after the age of 63. So it doesn't matter, is what I'm saying. All right, your best work is in front of you. So how do I learn my life's purpose? Well, number one, you can do it yourself, but I don't know how good that works, right? You can ask yourself that question. I think we found out that external support is the best way to do this. And matter of fact, when I take clients through this, most of them will stop, right? Any coach in the room knows that most folks stop on their why. They're like, oh, that's good. I'm like, but why? They're like, why would you ask me why? Like a why could be like, why are you in this marriage? Because I love my wife. Why? You're like, well, ain't that good enough? No.
Good.
Right? Because when it comes down to it, what if you don't love her that day?
Right. All right.
You need to have something deeper. Is this making sense to you guys? So most folks stop. All right. So here's what I'm going to share with you. One of the things I've been doing since 2015, so it's not my first rodeo, is I've been supporting people in distinguishing their life's purpose. I'm going to share a live virtual training with you on January 31st. All right. Retail cost is $997. I'm not going to do that to you because I'm talking to people every day. And I know this economy is tough. You're going to get access to the online training course because we don't retain what we hear the first time. That price is $297. I'm not going to do that to you. But here's what you will get, right? That date's wrong. How did that happen? Commitment is progress, right? Not perfection. It's supposed to be the 31st.
What is yours?
There we go. Double slides. Now we see how it happened. Okay. This is what it looks like, you guys. Okay. All in. I only teach this course once a year. I used to teach it more, but now we just do the best we can to fill up this course at the beginning of the year. Okay. Saturday, January 31st, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I believe this is the most important date you can have with yourself. If you don't know your purpose, or if you do know your purpose and you're living outside of it, you're trying to figure out how to get in, take this course. Some testimonials, fly through that. You can use that QR code if you're interested, all right? Use that QR code if you're interested. Oh, you know what? It is the wrong date. The QR code should work. Let's go back, because this is the close. Can you drop the link in for them just in case? All right. So Sarah, for those of you out in virtual land, you'll get the link, because that is the wrong date. I believe the QR code will work, though. All right. If you're in the room and you're interested, we can also make sure you get the link. All right? Okay, let me close. I made a big time decision in 2010. I was coming from El Salvador. I was on a work trip, headed to the airport in El Salvador. Something hit me. It's like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. I had a good life. I was traveling the world. 1 week I'd be in Jamaica. Next week I'd be in Nicaragua, Guatemala. I just said El Salvador. I was moving around. I was single. I was making great money. So when I got that feeling that something wasn't right, it's like, I didn't know how to contend with that, but I felt it in my spirit. Something's not right. So I made a decision. I need to find out. 2 years later, found myself sitting at an organization where they were sharing, if you're looking for another level of support to take your life, you know you're supposed to go somewhere. This is your shot right here. And they were asking for 5 figures. I didn't ask anybody for that today, right? They were asking for 5 figures. But I knew, like, something's got to change. Like, something's got to shift. Like I said, I had a good life. I had a good life. But I wasn't committed to good. I was committed to great. I wanted a great life. And I remember after I made that decision, I second-guessed it for a minute. I don't think you ever heard this story, Jody, but I finished up the workshop. I put my down payment was $600 on this 5-figure commitment. And I got to my car. I said, man, these folks done got me. I done had an emotional experience in there. And I took my credit card out. I turned it around. I was going to call the 800 number. Tell them somebody took it. I ain't going back. But I knew something had to change. Your life changes the moment you make a new, congruent, and committed decision. A new, congruent, and committed decision. Tony Robbins. So the question is, December 27, 2025, what will you choose? Like, you're here for a reason. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe that was coincidence. It was what I needed to fully align with my purpose, to do my work. And I've had the opportunity to do that work all over the globe. Can you imagine if I called the 800 number? My life would be different. I might not be with that woman. I might not have those children. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. Somebody right now, you're trying to figure out what's your next move, what's your next step. Today, what will you choose? And this is what I believe, whatever you choose it powerfully. Go all in. You say, I never want to hear from this guy again, block me. I'm so serious. Like, go all in. Make sure you don't see nothing in your feed. Go all in. Don't go halfway. I'm serious. That's how I do my life. All in. Like, when you get blocked, you never unblocked.
Right.
Right? Goals require you create a plan. What's your 2026 plan? Yogi Berra said, without a plan, even the most brilliant business can get lost. I know this because I support him. You need to have goals, create milestones, and have a strategy in place to set yourself up for success. This is tough to do alone. Roy Bennett, believe in yourself. You are braver than you think. more talented than you know, and capable of more than you imagine. I believe that. It's my last quote, my favorite quote. If you go to work on your goals will go to work on you. If you go to work on your plan will go to work on you. Whatever good things we build end up building us. And I also believe it doesn't just build us, but it builds the community. And so with that, I want to thank you guys for your attention, and thank you for attending the 2025 Get Ready for 2026 Masterclass.